I designed this sequence around teaching Hush a new skill. The skill is a new flick away cue. It involves both distance and layering. The flick away cue is a rear cross without needing to do a rear cross. This skill will allow me to get more distance and send my dog away on a line using independent distance skills. Having this skill at my disposal will save me precious seconds and allow me to get up the line to the next critical handling point. A traditional rear cross is best used when you're going to change sides and then both you and your dog are going to carry on in the same direction. A flick away will allow me to turn the dog away from me and get the best line without needing to cut in behind them. So I run a shorter, faster line to get ahead of my dog.
The objective of my handling in this course is not to go past the green line. So I set Hush up at jump 1 with him on my left. I send him over 1, give him a flick away cue as he approaches 2, and he flicks into the tunnel at 3. As he's coming out of tunnel 3, I reconnect with Hush, giving him a verbal tunnel for tunnel 4. At this point, my shoulders are still rotated, pointing towards tunnel 4. Once that I see he's committed to the tunnel, I start to rotate my shoulders and head up the red handler path. As he comes out of 4, I reconnect with him through the uprights of jump 5, bring my arm up for the threadle. As he's taking 5, I give him a threadle cue. Once I can see that he's committed to the threadle at 6, I start moving off towards jump 7 and beat him over that last jump. This is a video of Hush running the sequence, and then I'm going to talk about some of the skill building and layering that I did to get to the point where he could run this sequence. I began by teaching Hush a tight right and left flick away cue.
Dog on my left, flicking away left for a tight left turn. I say left, left, which means take the jump and turn a tight left. The toy is placed on the left wing. Hush is standing on my left side. I send him with a tight turning left verbal, which is left, left. My left arm comes up slightly and my right arm comes up, stays low, and I rotate with him to help him go round that left wing to the toy. I repeat the process with Hush standing on my right side, flicking right. I give him my right tight turning verbal, which is right, right. My right arm comes up briefly to show him the wing, and then my left arm comes up, stays low, and supports him, and I rotate my body as he turns right around the wing. I like to proof this skill so that my dogs can do it on a verbal cue only. You will see that I'm not helping at all. There's no arm motion, my body's not turning. I'm standing as still as I possibly can.
And now I start to teach a soft left and right flick away cue.
I have both a soft left turning verbal, which is turn, turn, and a soft right turning verbal, which is back, back. In this instance, with my dog on my left side, before jump 1, I give them their turn, turn verbal. I don't give them an up cue first, just their turn, turn verbal, which means take the jump in front of you and make a soft left turn towards the next obstacle. This gives them the opportunity to prepare themselves and turn over the bar of 1 as they're heading towards obstacle 2. I've placed the toy past the second jump and using it as a lure. I give him his soft turning verbal, turn, turn. I lift my left arm slightly, point to the jump, and then raise my right arm high, turn with him as he rotates round and through the wing of the second jump. So just to clarify, a lower right outside arm supports a tight turn and a higher outside arm supports a soft turn. Also notice that in the second turn that while I rotated with Hush, I didn't step behind him as if I would for a rear cross. This is still a soft left turning cue. Mine is turn, turn. The only difference is that as they are sitting before 1, I give them an up cue. When they're halfway between 1 and 2, I tell them turn, turn, which means take the jump ahead of you and make a soft left turn towards the next obstacle. So once again, just showing how I like to proof my dogs so that they will do both a tight turn and a soft turn on a verbal cue only. This clip of Vixen also demonstrates the timing of my verbal cues. And this clip of Hush demonstrates my handling. So halfway between jumps 1 and 2, my right off arm comes up high. I rotate my body and I cross behind him to support him going over jump 3. So same turn again, just this time I don't step behind him as if I'm going to do a rear cross. My arm still comes up and I still turn with him. So I'm just starting to fade how much help I give him. And in this clip, I'm just showing you how I'm making it a little bit harder for him by standing about 3 paces to his right and trying to stay on the outside of that wing as I send him over 1. So no longer crossing behind him for that rear cross. I would like Hush to do this on a verbal only, so I will work at fading all the extra help that I'm giving him with my arms and my body rotation. I've added in a tunnel at the end of the sequence to demonstrate how a good verbal understanding of a flick-away cue could save you a lot of time and distance and make you available at a critical handling point on course.
Day 2. The course is set up. I'm going to start off by doing a little bit of back chaining and skill building before I start to run the sequence with Hush. I'll go through these with you now.
I started by back chaining the tunnel to tunnel send. I've put Hush's toy halfway between the first and the second tunnel so that as he comes out of the first tunnel, he sights his toy and goes straight to the toy without turning his head back in towards me. Notice in the video that as I'm sending him, I'm rotating my shoulders, my right outside arm is high and I'm looking towards the second tunnel as he comes out of the first tunnel. Oops, not listening to his verbals, and was just going to take the jump rather than go straight to the tunnel, so that's why I've called him back. And he's run straight past his toy, so obviously no problem sighting that second tunnel now. So I place the toy at the end of the second tunnel, just so he gets a reward for the commitment to the second tunnel. Send. Inside arm up high, shoulders pointing towards the second tunnel. So starting with back chaining that flick away cue that we started to teach yesterday, and a nice bright toy out there acting as a lure for him. Placement is towards that first tunnel now, so that as he comes over the jump, he sees the first tunnel entry. Continuing to support him with my arm movement and shoulder rotation. So continue to use that toy as a lure. This time it's placed between the 2 tunnels. So still sending him before that second jump. As you see, he started to turn right instead of turning left. I think this was because I'd taken a couple of steps further away from him than I had the previous time. So probably just increased it a little bit too hard. But I'll give him another go, and he was successful this time. Oops, got my cues all mixed up there. So this is about him practicing a new skill and also me practicing a new skill. So we are going to not always get it quite right. I don't know if you could pick that up or not, but he had a little bit of a hesitation about 1 metre to 2 metres away from that second tunnel. So I would like to train what I want, and I don't really want him hesitating. So I'm going to give him another try at that. Lovely committed run into that second tunnel, no hesitation at all that time, so I'm going to increase the difficulty. So starting at the first jump, and you'll notice that my cues change now, so I give the up and then the turn. This time increase the difficulty again, send, rotate with him, right hand up, but I move off this time. See me moving off? He still stays committed, so that's great. Using the toy as a lure again, I've placed it on the left wing of jump 6. So as he comes out of the tunnel, he gets rewarded for sighting that jump. I've placed the toy on the other wing so that he'll get his toy once he's completed the threadle this time. I was really happy with how committed he was to that threadle jump, and that allowed me to get well up the line. Here we go, final run through, and you can see how this flick away and layering helps me get right up, and I beat him past that last jump. Got to be happy with that. Just want to finish off by showing you a couple of tricks here that I've done with Vixen. When she was a little puppy, actually, we started this, but it's a great little trick for getting your dogs used to turning away from you. We do so much training where our dogs are turning into us that this skill of turning away from us is really quite hard, and some of you may not have ever done the dogs turning away from you, particularly without you crossing behind them. So these couple of tricks are really good to get your dog started on the turn away from you. So similar trick, just using a toy this time. Of course you could make this harder by putting the toy behind you so that it's out of their view. Or you could even make it harder by using the toy to proof your skill. So putting it on the opposite side and then asking them to flick away from it. So just proofing and building in those layers of understanding. And this can be done away from agility equipment as well. This little exercise is working on developing the send, getting my dog more comfortable from working away from me as well. Just a reminder that sometimes the dogs forget that they have some of these skills, and they just need a little bit of reminding now and again, as Vixen clearly demonstrates right here. Finally, I'd just like to say that you could simplify your life and just have one verbal cue that means flick away from me. So drop the tight left and right tight turns and your soft left and right turns, and just one verbal flick away cue.